You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us. But it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Hello, Carrie.
Hi.
Hi.
We're back.
Are you excited about... I'm excited about this episode. Because it's almost like you had a new adventure that we haven't had before. It's like you tried something new for all of us.
I don't know that it's going to be that exciting, but yeah, I did.
Yeah. Otherwise, yes. So before we get started, you're doing well. Everything's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yada, yada.
Yada, yada. Small talk. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. So this is the Carrie did not run Disney recap.
Right. I did the Run Disney Springtime Surprise Weekend, but I only signed up for the Neverland 5K.
Right.
Actually, let's be real here. I signed up for nothing. I had somebody else register me for the
somebody registered you. And they assured you that you could walk.
Yeah, for sure. This is a ginormous ordeal, this Run Disney. It's crazy. But I guess to get from the start, like if anybody's interested in a Run Disney, you have to plan very far in advance, especially if you want to do the 5K. Like it sells out in minutes, just like everything else that we do at Disney, all of these events.
Isn't it kind of weird how quickly when did it become such a big ordeal?
I didn't know it was such a big ordeal till I was in it. Like I knew it was big. I knew there was lots of runners. Lots of runners. I had this just like big, one word, it's probably big. But when you're in it and you see it, it's ginormous. It's huge. Like there's lots of people that do this. A lot of people. So I'm trying to think of how, probably about a year in advance is when we started talking about doing it. And then however many months later, they do the registration. And again, the registration is the day that it opens. If you want to do it or you're deciding that next year, this event's going to be it, you have to be prepared. You have to know what you want to do. You got to know who you're registering with, and you have to be ready to just do it. Because if you don't, you won't be doing it till the next time, because
it's like Expo.
Very, very quickly.
It's the frenzy of Expo, only your frenzy of Expo is to go and do exercise.
Right. So this weekend, they do lots of weekends, right? They do the big marathon weekend, and then they do the wine and dine and the princess and whatever it's called. This one was a 5K, a 10K, and a 10-miler. And so you could do one of them, or you could do two of them, or you could do all three of them. And then if you completed them all, then you won a special, or you were awarded a special
medal or some.
Yeah, because you're like a completer that you did all of them. It was a Stitch Ohana challenge. So I guess that's what they do when you do these. If you do all of them, then they have a challenge that gives you a bonus.
You get a bonus
medal, a bonus medal.
If you do all three.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But you just did the one.
Yeah, I'm not signing up for nothing more than the 5K, that's for sure. So what do you want to know?
So the frenzy online to register, that's done well in advance.
It was all well in advance. So far in advance, you almost forget that you got to do it. And then there is a bit of preparation depending on the people we were with, some did two of them, some did all three. So I did kind of get a peek into what it was like
for the others. Yes.
For the others and experiencing it or whatever. But for before you I would think most people are doing this in a group, at least a pair, but if not groups. The 5K is just for fun. Really. This one was Neverland 5K, so had Tinkerbell was the mascot of this, and I'm telling you, there was groups of people dressed up like every single character in the Peter Pan movie. Everything. every like Lost Boys. I think I saw some guy like running in like an inflatable crocodile outfit. I think I saw somebody like dressed up with like cardboard with running like with quotations like in a, like with a cardboard like boat around him somehow. Like people prepare, and a lot of them are in groups, and a lot of them are themed up, and they're dressed in costumes or bounding or whatever. Like it like, so there is that bit of preparation. Like I think, we were wearing green shirts, like, Tinkerbell, Peter Pan green. Like the best thing to do is to wear something totally opposite of the theme color, because you wouldn't have been able, if you got separated from your group, you can't find anybody.
You can't find
Everybody's
anyone.
wearing Tinkerbell yellow or Peter Pan green. So yeah, everybody's like, a lot of people do, make fun of it, like whether it's a group or whatever, Disney friends, like that's the big thing. So there's that too. Like,
So the element of getting dressed up.
If you went in your regular running gear because you were like a serious runner, you would stick out like a sore thumb. Like everybody was just like, they had the 10K was adventurers out there, so up, and like you wouldn't believe how many women were I saw like dressed up like bounding like the house. Like they had like
Yeah,
like,
the balloons in the house. Yeah.
Whatever, like just creative ways to like Disney bound as the house. Like you would never think you could Disney bound as the house from up, but you can, and I saw it. A lot of people dressed up as Russell, like so. Imagine it was hot. I'll get to where like how you have to get up early to do all this. It was hot, as we said last time about how hot our trip was. Like there's women running and men running dressed up as Russell, like full out like Russell. Like that's heavy material.
That's gotta be. It's
like,
so hot. Ugh.
So it's definitely interesting for the people watching. Like, everybody's got tutus and running gear, and it's all themed up and whatever. So yeah, if you wanted to sort of fit in, you probably should do a little bit of coordinating your outfits, because and I'm sure maybe there's not very many like runners that have no clue about Disney that sign up, but like legit, that's what I was kind of giggling. Like if you came here like all ready to go and you were like running like you're running any other marathon, you would be the odd one out, that's for sure. Because yeah, everybody's all having
all
fun, all dressed up.
So when you arrive, you have to go pick up all your, they call it a bib or whatever.
Yeah.
At All-Star, where is it? It's at the sports complex.
The Wild World of Sports Complex. So yeah, before the race stage, they have like Run Disney Expo. And this was surprising because we had to go to the Wild World of Sports to pick up our bib, but like that's like the size of a theme park itself. Like you got to park or take the bus and walk through the big parking lots, and then they have all of these like sports stadiums there. So like we had to walk to like the last sports stadium and like walk through the sports stadium, like just like when you go to an expo when they have you line up and everything's taped off, and like I probably walked 5K that day picking up my credentials. Like it's a big ordeal. Like I had no idea. Like that Wild World of Sports, they have food booths, they have food areas, they have alcohol, like they have like, it's a party zone. It's a Run Disney party zone. So you walk through the party zone, then you have to go in and get your bib. And again, walking through like a hockey arena type of, like, a community hockey arena is what you're walking through. Like upstairs, downstairs, around the bend, around the bowl, down the bowl, into the whatever, like all the lineups or whatever to get your bibs, what lining up, whether you're, this or that or whatever. And then you have to go through the Disney like the Run Disney Expo, which is like a little mini convention where you have to get your shirt, but you have to walk through where people are selling like everything to do with run, like everything. Like if you forgot your tutu at home, don't worry.
They got you covered.
Tutus, headbands, mouse ears, proper like sport, like people that do this are athletes, like they run, like not everybody's doing it for fun. All kinds of stuff, like all kinds of things to tape your legs, to massage, with like massage machines, like you name it, anything that could be
a runner, right?
To do with running, including the fun stuff. was in there. So then you have to go through all that. And then when you're done, you go, like, they have a merch store, like, same thing. You get in a wait list to get into the merch, and then you go into the merch store, and it legit felt like a little expo. And the one thing that I thought when I was there, even just walking through the first building, I'm like, why don't they have other events here? Like, is this facility so busy that they, like, why wouldn't they have Destination D there?
Yeah.
It's ginormous.
Yeah, why wouldn't they have Destination D? Although I don't want to suggest that, because I like it in the contemporary, because
like
it's contained.
Or other events. Like, why don't they have the pin event there? Like, whatever other events. Like, it is a huge. I had no idea. So I kind of enjoyed, like, seeing that, because I'd never been there before. I was very, very surprised with how big it was, and that's my first clue when I was like, holy smokes, like, this is ginormous. But it took me like the whole afternoon to do that. The whole afternoon.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot about it, because again, I'm not thinking about this run thing. I was like, actually in my mind trying to think of ways to, like, not do the run, sleep in, don't turn on my alarm, miss the bus. I was thinking all that stuff, and then so this was off my radar, and then I was reminded that I had to go pick up my kid. But it took like the whole afternoon to do it, and the people that are in it, like the people that are in this Run Disney and do it all the time, they're no different than me spending 3 or 4 days at Epcot to do the pin event. It's just a different subject matter. Like, the people that are in it and love it, they're there. Like, again, beer and alcohol tents, and people hanging out and just having. It was like a Run Disney. It was a party there. Like, it was like the whole vibe was for them. And I guess I was surprised. But then when you step back and you think, like, it's a fandom. It's a Run Disney fandom.
Yeah.
It's like any
it's just
other
like the pin events
that we had. So yes, I finally got through, did all that stuff, did all of the steps, and spent the afternoon, probably walked 5K from
just registering and getting all your stuff.
And getting through all that stuff was probably a 5K walk. And that was that day. That was it. I didn't do it. I didn't partake in any of the festivities there. It just took me all afternoon to actually get through it.
Right. So then let's talk. So yes, you did have some apprehensions. We did talk about this. You were a bit concerned with getting up in the middle of the night and how this was going to impact your trip, because you were there with your sister too. So you wanted to go on vacation.
Signed up for this. Yeah, exactly. Once we signed up for this, that's what, like, I thought, well, maybe I knew my sister hadn't been in a while, and it was on the to-do list to go back. So that's when I asked her if she wanted to go on the trip, and I was going to be doing this. But then when it got closer and I was seeing like the time commitment or whatever, then I was feeling like, well, that's really not cool that I'm doing. Like, is it going to take 2 whole days out of this trip that's supposed to be her return trip? So I was a little, I didn't really want to do it, but then that too also was kind of bugging me. But whatever. My sister, she definitely needed some R&R, so she rested the morning. But anyways, she barely noticed that I was doing this anyway. So let me explain how it works. So you're supposed to buy I didn't really read much of the stuff that I got sent. But I did remember. Shocking. I knew that someone was just going to make sure that I knew where I needed to be. I remember that you were supposed to be there by 4:00 in the morning. Like, I was like, okay, I remembered that I had to be there 4:00. So you get up at like 3, and you're supposed to be in the Run Disney area by then. So they've got buses running 3:00 in the morning or whatever. They've got buses from everywhere running to Epcot. So the race starts in the Epcot parking lot. And so I got there right for around 4:00. You don't need to be there at 4:00. So, like, even if you were, so the way that it works is that they have like all of these groupings, right? So when you register, like the 5K, I don't know how it really matters, but like for the other ones or for the other races, like when you register, you have to tell them your pace, right? So if you're you tell them your pace, and then that determines whether they put you in A, B, C, D, E, or E.
I always wondered that when there's like 5 million people at the starting line, how is this a fair race if you're at the back of the line and somebody else is at the front of the line?
Yeah,
that's not
take your
so
pace,
they
and then
put you in groups to start.
Yeah. So whatever group I was in the D group. So but even if you were in the A group, so the A group had like 8 or 9 corrals of people. So it was A1, fireworks go off. A2, fireworks go off. Next one. Like all of there's so many people at the 5K that like every single A, B, C, D had multiple rounds of when the race starts.
So there's just fireworks everywhere because they're starting the race like over and over and over again because they have like new corrals of people coming in.
Yeah. So A would have a bunch of them, B would have a bunch of them, C, even ours had a few of them, right? The D's, and then there was E's behind us. So yeah, like it's even if you were A, unless you were the first, like A started right at 5-ish, but like we probably didn't start walking or running until like close to 6. Like,
so you were there for almost 2 hours.
Yeah. And really, like, if I was to do this again, like, I legit would, like, seeing how they work, like, it's very organized, but I guess they just need, like, I couldn't imagine how many people are there. Like, 25,000 people running a 5K, I don't know, like, 30,000 people more, right. I don't know, like, there's lots of people there. So I see them wanting to, get everybody in order. But so at Epcot, on the far side, like over by the Guardians of the Galaxy side, like that side of the parking lot, they pretty much commandeer that entire parking lot to corral people. And so they walk you into it, and then they have A, B, C, and D, and then they just walk the A's over to the start line, the B's over to the start line, but then they only let so many go at every time. Like I said, A1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever. It's very, very organized, but yeah, like standing around until it was our turn to walk. So
that's a long time to be just standing around. Yeah.
So yeah, you definitely could show up right at 4. Like if you had done it lots of times and you were just doing a 5K, like I guess the thing you'd have to worry about is I was so early that the transportation was flawless. I don't know if maybe closer to like if
maybe it's hard to get a bus or or
if you were driving, like what it would be like if you drove early versus late,
right?
But very, very early in the morning, and I could see like if you love to run or this is what you do or whatever, like it's fun, like it's fun. But like the people, like they had to do it 3 a.m. every day. Like if you ran all 3, you had to get up 3 days in a row to be there for.
So you either have to have stamina to go all day, all night, or you're going to bed super early for those 3 days if you've got to get up at 3 o'clock every morning.
Or just whatever. Yeah, you just go. Like I don't know if people do get a lot of. I don't know what their plan is. So once it's time to go, like we pretty much like go around the far side of the parking lot and kind of go long around, and then you go behind scenes and you're behind like where test track is. You're kind of walking around behind test track, and then you come out of Mexico and you walk Mexico all the way around to Canada, and then you walk out the park and into the parking lot a little bit, and then you're done. Like that's the 5K. Like you pretty much walk World Showcase, like going long around to get into the park through Mexico. You walk around the World Showcase, and then you're done.
So like, really, when you think about the 5K, it's not a long walk. It's no different than a park day in terms of steps.
No, for sure. It's a fraction of what you walk in a park day. And then, so once you get in, like there's lots of people, like because we were so far back, and I talked to some of our runners that did the other ones about the strategies around like characters, because the reason why people like to do these is there's characters everywhere. Like by the time we got in, like wherever we were, D3 or whatever, there was like the lines for the characters were, I'm not exaggerating to say that there could have been 100 people in every single character line.
That's crazy.
So like, and I guess if you were running like the other ones, like the 10K and the 10 miler, like if you were actually in and you were running, like then obviously you're up and you're a runner, you're closer to the start. or you're in the A's or the B's. And then I guess, you kind of run and you're well ahead of the people that are slower. And then you can kind of decide whether you want to stop or circle back and do
pictures
characters, right? Like, so because I asked, like, well, what do you do? Like, if you're running and you're running, like, are you like when you get to the characters, is there the lines aren't so bad? And apparently that's the thing. Like, if you were the lines aren't so bad, but by the time we got in, like, there's people waiting in the lines, and you think that with the 5K, like, when I tell you there was groups of people dressed up as every single character, they were like lights.
But do you have to finish in a certain amount of time? Because then why wouldn't everybody just stop? So you could stop and get character, but you could basically take as long as you want to stop, get pictures.
You have to do it's like 2.5 hours, I think, is what they give you. So that's the thing. Like, if you went in and your group wanted to take pictures with certain characters, then that would be your priority, right? Like, you would stop, because like that's how that has to be the draw. Like, with all of these characters and these long lines, like, you and your friends have made all of these, fun costumes or whatever, and you want to capture your, during the run with the characters in your costumes, right? So, but like long.
So you didn't wait for any?
No, I just walked the 5K. and I took pictures of some of the topiaries because of the flower garden. Like, there was nobody there. I stopped and like took some pictures of the World Showcase just generally because it was empty. It just really looked like nighttime mostly. So I took some pictures and I just walked around and then I was done. So when you're done,
one single character picture.
No, I'm not waiting in a line of 100 people. Like, the 5K didn't have, like, they didn't have the best characters either. Like, they had Stitch and Angel or two of the, I don't even know if it was Stitch. They had, there was no characters that was going to make me stop.
That would make you stop.
No way. Like, I went,
like if Kermit and
take a picture with Merida, I'm not going to stop waiting 100 people in line to get a picture with Stitch or whoever those people were.
If Rolf and Kermit were out, you'd stop. But that would
be different. If there was like Muppets or something, then I probably would have waited. But and then when you're done, you get to the finish line. Like, they have photographers, even with the 5K, they have photographers all throughout the route. So like, they're sitting low and they just snap pictures of you the whole time. So they take pictures all throughout the route, and the people that are running, like, they run by them, they know what to do or to whatever. It's quite interesting to see that too. And at the finish line, they're taking all kinds of pictures of you. And then when you're done, they give you they give you your medal, they give you a snack box, they give you Gatorade, they give you water. Like, they pretty much load you up. Like, you're done the 5K and you've got like an arm, you've got so much stuff you can't even carry it. Like, you've got just so much stuff. So then you just sit, and they have all kinds of photos at the end too, like standees and whatever. Like, there's so many opportunities aside even from the characters for you to get pictures. Like, and that's what it's all about. Like, everybody's just there with their friends doing these runs and taking lots of fun pictures. So like, all kinds of like, I did it photos or whatever. Now, once you're done at the end.
How do you get the pictures from the photographers? Do you just go to the site and then download the ones that are yours? Do you have to go through everybody's pictures?
No, they're on you just load your bib number or whatever onto your My Disney Experience account, onto your PhotoPass account.
And then they look for the pictures of the bib. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, so just generally your bib pictures get posted.
Nice.
Trying to think of what else. Like, there was lots of people walking. Most people to me seem to be running and walking or trying to like run a little bit or whatever. But for the 5K, definitely lots of walkers. Again, it's only 5K. Like, for the 10K and the 10 miler, like I was told, like, lots of people walk them too. So or they walk and run, or even if you do like the very basic walk run, like there's going to be people in all the categories of running and walking that are going to be in there. So it's pretty inclusive, like even beyond the 5K. Like, I think if you were a 10K or you know.
Now, how did you feel
you could do it
the rest of the day? So you're up at 3, you start running at 6, or start running, walking, whatever Carrie's version, and then you do the whole thing, and then what? Like, how did because you were concerned about that wake up time?
Yeah, I was back to my room by 7:20. My sister wasn't even up yet. I was back to my room. Like I had walked like the thing and like by the time I got back to my room, I walked 11.2 kilometers.
Can't get over that. It's insane. So
So
for the
I walked more
5K,
to get to and from the 5K than it took to walk the
the
5K.
5K.
And that's the one thing, like I understand how they have to corral everybody in and how many people it is. Like I can't imagine how many people were there. But like when you get off, like the buses drop you off at the Epcot bus area, and you think, oh well, like they're just corralling over on the other side. Like you just got to get off the bus, walk a straight line past Spaceship Earth, and there's the other parking lot. Perfect, it's right there. No,
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if you walked 2 kilometers from that point to get
To
into
get
where
to
you're
your
supposed to be. Like
to
they
start
have big
before you even
long,
start. Yeah.
like to get into the ABCDE, like they had big long like walkways that were like
See?
ridiculous to get people to where they needed to be. And it's only just a big square rectangular parking lot. Like
Right.
they run around. So yeah, by
But
the
that's
time
got to be the same at all races, you think? Because
oh for
I
sure.
guess you got it, but it's something you don't think about if it's your first race, is how much effort it takes to actually get to the beginning of the race.
I walked more to get to and from
That's
than I did for
crazy,
the race.
Carrie.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, but yeah, so I went back and I think I went and got breakfast and then I sat on my little porch outside my room and waited for my sister to get up. And I think we probably took it a little bit easy, a little bit, but we went to the parks and I just think we didn't have it too late of a night.
Wasn't that the
Actually,
day we met? Was that the day we met for lunch at Hollywood?
no, I don't think
Maybe.
so. No, Friday.
Maybe because then we saw Susan, and remember she was running the next day.
Oh yeah, we did. That was yeah. So what did we
Yeah,
do? So that day we just
she
hung
was
out
doing
at
the
the park.
10. Yeah,
We hung out at the park with you till whenever. And then we took yeah, so we were probably
yeah,
back at the room by like 7:30. And so
yeah. It
yeah.
was, yeah. I can't imagine doing that 3 days in a row though.
So
But that would be
yeah, I
your
don't
whole
know.
purpose for that trip. Like, I think if you were going to go do the three, your purpose for being there would be those three.
I don't know. I think a lot of people do 4 park challenges on those days and just, still try not to stay up late, like, but stay to watch fireworks or whatever. I think a lot of people think of it as like a go big or go home, like you'll sleep when you
Yeah.
get home type of thing.
So
For
different
sure.
from how you and I do things.
Yeah. Like I think like if you said to me you wanted to do it, I would do it again with you for sure. Like
Right.
if and I would really like to do the Disneyland one. Like our friend
Of
Jamie,
course.
she did Disneyland before and then she did all of them at Disneyland and then she did all of them here and she got a coast to coast medal, which is really cool. Not that
Nice.
I'm never going to do anything but a 5K, but she had done the Disneyland and she told me like what it's like it didn't like how you walk around Disneyland. So I would like to do the Disneyland one. But if somebody like if a good friend was like,
Yeah.
let's do it, I would really like to do it, then I would do it again. But yeah, it's for me it's definitely um not something that I would do like
It's not going to become an addiction of yours.
just for fun. Yeah,
No. The
for sure.
Disneyland, you would like to be in there. It's because of
Yeah,
the
I just
being
want
in
to
the
I
park
probably
and
would only
seeing
do Disneyland
backstage.
once
And
as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
would just probably do that once as well. But yeah, like yeah, I don't know.
Well, you did
Maybe
it.
I'll
It's
do it
maybe
again.
not your
I did
thing,
it.
but you did it.
Maybe if I ever got extremely healthy one day, I might be like, yeah, I'll do it. But I don't like if I
Well,
walk the 10K or something, but I doubt it. Because I still wouldn't be able to get pictures because I'd be in Corral E if I was doing 10K and I wouldn't get any pictures. It wouldn't get any
right,
pictures taken.
right.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. It was I can see the draw and I was just mostly surprised about how big it is. It's great for like, for friends to do and teams to do and whatever. Like it's
Yeah.
huge. Like it's amazing for that purpose. And you can understand why groups and groups of people do it.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was just surprised that, and I shouldn't be surprised, but I just couldn't believe how many people actually do it. Like
It's
how big of a thing it is. Like,
we're still
wow.
even now we're still amazed at the level of fandom that Disney can command in every different kind of event that they have. They have like whatever event they've got going, people will pay tons of money to come and spend more money. That's what we do. That's the Disney community. We will pay lots of money to come and spend more.
And being a runner, someone that likes to run, like these people, like, you know, I'm sure there's very competitive runners or people that do all kinds of marathons and runs or whatever, but just being someone that enjoys running or can run or whatever, and you're a Disney fan, and putting those two together, like, you know, the best time ever. Like the fact that you get to go and dress up and
if that's your thing and you put them together,
it's once you're in it, but it's hard to, like, you can't imagine when that's so not you, that there's so many people that like to do this. Like, I think you would probably, like, aside from the 3 o'clock in the morning, you'd probably think the experience very interesting, like just to see it. You'd probably be the same as me, like, holy crap, like I can't believe that this is this. But
it might be something one day when I get healthy to consider, but just to see it. But
you have to get up that early.
That's the only thing. I mean, you know how my days go when I have to get up that early to get on the plane. And that first day is usually a write-off when I have to be up at that time in the morning to get on the plane. So, yeah.
It was, and that morning was hot. Like, I couldn't imagine the people running. Like,
it gets in the heat.
Like, and the next day, like a 10 mile and a 10 kilometer and a 10 mile, like, it's hot. And now I know why they do the marathon in January. Like, when in April, it's like 75 at 3 o'clock in the morning and everybody's like a little.
That's crazy.
But it was all right. It was all right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that was kind of interesting about it.
And you got your medal. You got your medal.
I got my medal. I got my bib, which was neat.
That's fun. Now you have this souvenir.
Old Carrie would have scrapbooked it. The medal I might try to sell and see if anybody wants it. I'm just being silly. And I'm trying to be like, I was, you know, I was being like playing the role of being like crusty with everybody, joking about how I wasn't going to do it. And I still don't want to really do I don't really want to do it again, but it was very, very interesting. So,
I'm glad you had the experience.
I did have a lot of fun riling up the people I was with to tell them this or that and complaining about, like, I told everybody I walked 11.2 kilometers to walk a 5K.
Yes.
Like, how was it, Carrie? I walked 11.2 kilometers. I got back to my room at 7:20, 11.2 kilometers.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of crazy.
But you can see when you see everybody else doing it and having fun and doing it every 3 days and like them loving their time, you know, together and how much fun they were having, like, it does.
Yeah.
Make sense. Makes sense.
For sure.
I get it.
You get it. I love it. Oh, that's awesome, Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for sharing your experience. If anybody has any questions,
they can reach out.
Yeah, for sure. Now that we've got a Run Disney expert on the panel.
Oh, good grief.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I did okay explaining kind of how it worked.
I think what it was. I think we got a very good overview and especially from someone who's never, like, you're not a runner. Like, it's good to get your perspective.
I'm not even a walker. I did see there was a lady that had her dog in a stroller. I thought that was kind of
cute. Yeah. That's awesome.
If I could bring a cat in a stroller, then that would be fun.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, yep, that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. It's that time of the podcast, Carrie. It's time to share your pixie dust of the week. What brought you some joy?
Well, my pixie dust is from the day that I went to the expo at the Run Disney. I got to go to the character outlet at the outlet. So at the outlet mall. And I got the Kermit cookie jar.
I saw that jar.
So I bought it.
It's nice. $20. It's huge.
It's huge.
It's a big full-size cookie jar.
It's going to be in my office as maybe a storage compartment, but I believe I've decided it's going to be my urn. It's a perfect size. So it's like a 2-in-1, and it only cost me $20.
It cost you $20.
Suck her up.
Seriously, those urns cost a fortune. You got a cookie jar that's perfect for you.
And if nobody wants me, then maybe they'll be in your house somewhere in my Kermit cookie jar.
I'll take it.
Bring me to Florida. Bring me wherever. So it's really cool. It's a really cool cookie jar. Once I saw that, it's one of those things where, like, you know, do you need a cookie jar? And then you think, I got this friggin' suitcase that I could put, like.
You know what? Am I ever going to live down the fact that I never told you to buy this suitcase? I said this is the suitcase that I bought, and you just went and bought the same one. It was
so big. Anyways, when I realized that I wanted it,
how handy was that suitcase this time? Very.
This is so big. You know when you buy something to the people,
it was very handy.
You know when you buy something at Walt Disney World and they wrap it up in like the brown paper and then the crinkly paper that stretches and like makes it a bigger crinkly paper. This suitcase is so big. Like, you know, they roll up a mug and it's the size of a basketball. Well, imagine what my Kermit cookie jar was wrapped up like. I just threw that sucker.
There was plenty of room in the suitcase. See? With all the wrapping.
It like filled up half the suitcase with all the wrapping, but I thought, well, it's safe. See? It's not going to break. Well, and if it does, I'll just glue it back together.
See? So. You know what? I got news for you. If you're paying to check a bag on an airline, go big or go home. Why not? Like, who cares if it's half empty? You paid the same amount of money.
I never would check a bag. So now I'm like, well, I might as well check a bag. I got a big bag.
There you go. See, and then you can bring back whatever. You could buy pillows. You could buy cutlery. You could buy whatever you want, and it would fit in that bag.
You just got to worry about the size.
It's just the size.
The weight.
The weight. Yeah. It's always, but it's a very light case. I have yet to go over weight-wise with that case. And you know me, I was forever going over. So, just saying.
For sure. What's your pixie dust? You got
my pixie dust was jar? no cookie jar for me. I actually met my neighbor. So, you know, in Toronto, people we don't talk a lot to our neighbors or whatever. My sister does. Her street's very friendly. But I've lived here for 15 years, and really the only people I know are the people that are like right beside me. And that house has been sold 3 times. So, just last week, I actually got to see the lady that moved in next door. So I went out to introduce myself, and she's lovely. It's her and her adult daughter. And so I won't have, like, there shouldn't be any loud parties or any, they should be model neighbors. So she was very nice. So I'm very happy because, you know, you worry when you get a new neighbor because I'm in a townhouse. So we're all connected. So it could be not very good if they're not nice neighbors. But no, she's lovely.
Oh, that's good then.
Yeah. So I was very excited about that. Makes me very happy. Yeah. Well, Carrie, this was a fantastic episode. Very full of information for sure.
You know what you should do with your neighbor? You should bake her a bundt cake.
Oh my gosh.
Just in case. But anyways,
I should just bake her a bundt cake.
That's what you did back in the old days. You make them up some cookies and you brought them over.
Yeah, and you bring them over.
If she thinks the same of you. You think she's lovely.
Maybe.
Like, oh, I made you some cookies. Anyways, yeah.
Next episode, we are going to go through the last of the trip, which is Franny visits the other side. Yeah, so we'll go over my trip to Universal.
I can't wait.
And thoughts about that. So that'll be exciting. But thank you again, Carrie. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Please remember to leave us a rating and review if you can. And tell a friend if you enjoy our topics and chat. Thanks again.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.